and welcome to a special edition episode of Kentucky Go Digital Live. My name is Heather Worrell. I am with the Office of Education Technology and support with online, virtual, and distance course learning here in the state of Kentucky. Today, we will be featuring 4 of our current online virtual providers. We call them the Coven, the Kentucky Online Virtual Network, and they work to support students across the state of Kentucky and the country and world. We'll meet them in just a second. So next, let's discuss the profile of an online learner. But first, did you know that over 10,000 students in Kentucky took over 22,000 courses virtually last year? And really, we see students taking online virtual courses for one of 4 reasons. The first is for credit acceleration. Perhaps they choose to take an online course that is more advanced than the current courses offered at their school. The second reason is for credit accumulation. Some students will want to take courses during the summer, such as like a health PE requirement, so that they can have more room in their schedule during the school year to take more math courses or to take more electives. The third reason is for expanded credit opportunities. So we have some students who want to take a certain world language that isn't offered at their school, so they'll choose to take it online virtually. Maybe an AP course isn't offered. Maybe there are electives that aren't offered at their school, and so they're willing to take them online virtually. Or perhaps they have certain courses in a career pathway that they are interested in that aren't necessarily offered in the school. So expanded credit opportunities is another main reason that we see students in Kentucky taking online virtual courses. And then the last reason is for those students who need to recoup missed credits. Perhaps they failed certain courses, so they'll take online courses for credit recovery purposes. So these are the 4 main reasons. So let's talk about the profile of an online learner. As we mentioned, those accelerated learners who want more advanced courses or they want to accumulate more courses into their schedule. The at-risk learners, a lot of students, stay-at-home moms, students with anxiety, or who feel like they have suffered from bullying or a number of reasons. Perhaps they have a parent who's very ill that they have to take care of, or perhaps they have to work in order to support their family. So we see several programs emerging to support the at-risk learner. Rural learners, in some schools where there are budget restraints, and as a result, they don't have a large number of human resource allocations, so they can't necessarily hire a number of teachers to teach a number of different courses. So in many districts, we see them leaning on online virtual providers to help support students. For instance, in a district, if a student wanted to take Mandarin Chinese, the district could do a partnership with KET and offer that course virtually to the student. Also, KBEC has done an outstanding job of offering computer science courses to a large number of students leveraging online virtual learning resources. The next profile is the homeschool learner. We have districts who are looking to recapture their homeschool population. Shelby County is an example. They launched a virtual academy to encourage homeschool students to come back to their school district in order to graduate and obtain a high school diploma through a virtual academy model. And this is an interesting learner profile. So we have students who travel around the world for various reasons, one of which we had a couple students enrolled in Barron County schools, but they were international equestrian champions. We also have tennis champions, students who compete in tennis tournaments around the nation, but they're enrolled in a Kentucky school through Babbel, which is one of our online providers. So those were our profiles of an online learner, and we have 4 current providers who are working to support those online learners. You're going to meet them in just a second. We call them the Kentucky Online Virtual Network, and this is a group of very passionate educators here in Kentucky who really work hard to support all kids. And now let's take a look at each of their programs and what they have to offer and meet this remarkable crew of people. But first, before we do that, let me introduce you to our Chief Digital Officer here in Kentucky. His name is Dr. Marty Park. And Marty, do you have anything you'd like to add about the profile of an online learner?
Thanks, Heather, for including me and asking me to jump in. I really appreciate that. No, I think that just that from a leadership level, just thinking about all of those identified profiles. And, I think back a few years ago when we dug in and tried to figure out what are the different profiles specifically. And so I think understanding those, and then also understanding and learning together, all of us learning together, that there are certainly profiles that we don't know yet, right? And trying to design around new experiences that our students are going to need, and then figuring out together how we solve those or how we provide those experiences. So thanks.
Absolutely. We're so glad to have you join us. So let's get to showcasing these providers. Without further ado, we're going to start with one of the longest running online virtual course providers here in Kentucky. So if we could have the team from Barron County Schools, known as BAVL, if you guys could introduce yourselves and let us take a look inside one of your courses. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Heather, so much for that wonderful introduction of all online and virtual providers across our lovely Commonwealth, and it's a pleasure to talk today about not only our program, but to hear about the other programs across the state. And so I'll introduce who is joining me today. I have my colleagues, Melinda Owens and Janelle McGuire, and we serve as the directors of BAVL. And the really unique part about our role is from the time that students first inquire about taking courses online until they either exit our program or they graduate, we are following their progress. And so that's part of our daily responsibility, to check on them. And sometimes it's just being an open ear and listening to what they might have going on. And so it's always humbling as we are talking with these students to kind of see how that relationship can build outside of the walls of a traditional school. But we are located here in Barron County, that's in South Central Kentucky. And just to share with you a little bit about our school profile, I'll back up just for a moment and share with you that our program began in 2004. And since that time, our program has evolved into a fully online program. We currently have had 393 students that have transitioned through our program this school year. And with those 393 students, we have had 1,692 individual course enrollments. We have an instructor staff of 40 instructors, and we serve students grades 6 through 12. And we have a comprehensive curriculum for those grades, so students can begin in grade 6, go through grade 12, and fulfill all of the course requirements that they need to for Kentucky graduation requirements. And in-house, we currently deliver 114 courses. That includes regular courses, honors courses, as well as AP courses. But it's always interesting to break down our student population. And everyone always asks, where do your students come from? What is the profile of an online student? So I'm going to break it down into 3 categories that we serve. We serve a group of full-time students who are, again, grades 6 through 12, and they're taking all of their courses through our program. And they're fulfilling public school requirements set by the Kentucky Department of Education. And their end goal is a public high school diploma. We also serve a population of homeschool students who really aren't seeking a public high school diploma. They're seeking supplemental curriculum for things that they're already doing within their homeschool. So maybe their parent isn't comfortable teaching an upper level math course, or maybe they're not comfortable teaching a foreign language course, or maybe they're just seeking elective courses in business or family and consumer sciences. They'll enroll with us for just 1 or 2 courses. And then we serve other public-private schools. So in this category, maybe schools that, because of budget cuts, are not able to offer a specific advanced placement course, or maybe they are at capacity for an Algebra 2 course. Those schools will enroll with us. Those students will just be taking 1 or 2 courses. Again, they're not diploma seeking through our program, but we do kind of fulfill that role to allow them to still complete coursework that maybe they wouldn't otherwise be able to complete. And I'll talk just for a few moments about our full-time population of students, and kind of referencing back to Heather's profile of what an online student looks like. You know, it's really hard for us to put our thumb on what makes a good online student, because we have students who come to us with medical conditions, and I'm reminded of a student that actually graduated from our program a couple of years ago, came to us as a freshman and had already had 3 open heart surgeries, and physically could not sit in a classroom all day long. But inquired about taking courses online, fulfilled all of his graduation requirements, and is currently studying to be a teacher at the University of Kentucky. And his dream is to be an online teacher. And then we have students that are teen parents, that this life event has occurred, and they still see the importance of completing their education, but also know that they have other responsibilities as well. And so they are taking their courses through our program. And then we also have those students who are pursuing a professional career. Maybe they're training for sporting competitions, whatever it might be. They're taking all of their courses with us and working around their training schedules to still receive that coveted high school diploma. And so one thing that I want us to look at, because even though we can look at our unique number of students that we have, I want us to look at the individual course enrollments. And over 90% of our course enrollments are from those full-time students. And so as a result, we have to make sure that we continue that individual attention to the students as they transition into their courses, and making sure that we have the staffing in place so that they still feel that individualization as they're completing that coursework.
This slide shows our graduation from this past school year of our graduates standing outside of the historic Plaza Theater here in Glasgow. And we are so excited to share that over 450 students have graduated from Babel to date. And over 80% of our students that have graduated this past school year indicated they would be going on to college or technical school. Looking at this photo, there are so many stories there with each one of these students, and we are always so excited to share in this day with our students. This slide here shows a little bit more about our instructor team for this school year. We have 2 instructors here in our office, a full-time mathematics instructor and a half-time science instructor, who you'll hear from here in just a few minutes. And then we also have 39 part-time instructors that are working all across the state. They are all Kentucky certified in their respective areas, and they come from a lot of different areas. Some of them are retired, some of them are still full-time instructors, and they do this in the afternoon and the evening rather than having a second job or weekend job. Some of them are, stay-at-home parents that have their Kentucky teaching certificate, and they maybe, have decided not to go back into a traditional classroom. Just a lot of different, different ways that our teachers come to us as well.
Our content providers are primarily Florida Virtual School, and we use Florida Virtual School for a majority of our core classes. And then we use Edgenuity for our elective courses, so that we can provide students with opportunities in areas in which they might be pursuing a career, or just things that might interest them. And so that's allowed us to expand our course offerings in those areas. But one thing that I want to mention is, as we talk about our content providers, this is something that we are regularly reviewing, and we have to, from our perspective, look at the content providers and say, which one is going to best fit our delivery model. And we definitely want to see things that not only provide students with enriching opportunities within the course as they're going through the curriculum, but also the opportunities for student and teacher interactions. students. And so as we are reviewing content providers, we want to make sure that we provide those opportunities for the students. That way we make sure that they're not just sitting in front of a computer and reading through the information and their wheels are spinning and not knowing where to turn.
Not only do we offer courses in-house through our content providers, but we also have the opportunity to provide dual credit courses for our students. And so you can see here are the different higher education institutions that our students have been able to take dual credit courses through this school year. This fall semester, students earned over 150 dual credit hours, and the spring semester looks to be right about the same as far as that's concerned. So we're very excited about being able to offer these opportunities for our students. Students are taking these dual credit courses online, and some students are actually attending class on campus.
When a student wants to enroll in our program, the first place that they need to visit is babbel.org, and then they click on questions. And this is a place that we've put information so that they can see exactly what the steps are that they need to follow to start the process. Step one is they fill out a student questionnaire, and that allows us to get to know the students a little bit better and know what their situation is. The second step in the process is that they submit their transcript, current grade reports, and any special program documents. We review all of this information. They call our office and speak with Linda and set up an appointment. And then at that time, we give them a call. After reviewing all of the submitted documentation, we give them a call, and that's when we talk to them about the courses they need, what their situation might be. And that's also the time that we talk about any pricing, and that all depends on the students and their needs.
Everyone is always curious what it actually looks like from the perspective of a student. And so one of our science teachers, Miss Hillary Mercer, is going to share with us, just kind of briefly take you through her physical science course and kind of explain the setup and what students would see on their end.
Good morning, everyone. So this is a typical setup no matter what subject area our student is in. We all have a Start Here folder. It kind of gives the students direction on how to begin the course, what information they may need, anything like that. So we click on Start Here. All of our instructors have an instructor welcome. So here's mine for physical science. I give a brief introduction about myself, and throughout the slides it has my content information or my contact information, what I expect from them, rules that I may have for the course, and just different information they may need depending on that course. Once they read through all these slides, they will take the introduction quiz. The introduction quiz makes sure that they read and listened to all of the information. This is kind of lets us know if the student is going to take the course seriously or not. If they just try and answer the questions without going through the content, then obviously we know that we need to keep an eye on these students and keep track of their work, contact them if we see any issues, things like that. So then it is set up in modules. You can see module 1, and that has everything in order chronologically. It starts with a pretest and goes into your content. What I want to show you today is down here, and as you can see in the 1.04, if you see the little document, that means that's content slides. Anything else that has the question marks or the lines means that that's an assignment. So we're going to click on content. Basically, it covers differentiated instruction. If you like to read, you have reading. If you need something to listen to, there are several videos embedded throughout the course. And also there are interactives. Students can move through at their own pace. And we also can keep up with how much time they're spending in a course. You can move through either by clicking on a page that you directly want to go to, or if this is your first time going through the content, you can just use the arrows. And then this is more information for them. Each page has a lot of content, but it's broken down into small segments so students can grasp it a little bit better. We have different slides, different tabs that you can click on. Just clicking through real quick so you can see. We have lots of pictures. And then, like I said, here's a video that you could click on if you want to watch that video.
Before Heather jumps in, I'm going to say something. You used one of my favorite buzzwords, and that was differentiated instruction. So, excuse me, as a previous special ed teacher, to me that's awesome. So that now we have kids that know I do better by watching a video, or that I am able to read it, that they are able to make a choice in that decision of how they're going to gather some of that content, or even do it multiple ways. So that's a huge benefit that I see.
Students really enjoy that.
As we look at our courses, and we appreciate Ms. Mercer going through part of her course, and the really nice part about any of our courses is they're set up very similar. And so as students are working from a math course to a science course or social studies course, the setup is going to be very similar. And so they understand the importance of clicking on tabs. They understand the importance of watching the videos that are embedded. But outside of just the content, it's great to have that expert in that content area who is behind the course. So when things still don't click, as students have read the information, watched the videos, whatever it might be, there's still that teacher behind the course who's there to provide that assistance with the students.
Talk to me a little bit about the districts that you are currently partnering with. Is there one district in particular that is your biggest partner? I know you have a pretty big list on your website about districts that you have reciprocal contracts with to transfer ADA funds for students.
Sure. So we share reciprocating agreements with over 60 districts. And so basically what that means is with those reciprocating agreements, students could enroll with us full time. So they could take all of their courses online with the intention of receiving a public high school diploma through our program. Now, the other side of that is we also work with districts that we might not have a reciprocating agreement with, but they're not able to offer a specific course. So even if we don't have that agreement in place, we can still work with schools in those districts to offer courses. The biggest difference is the pricing structure for those. And to be honest, as far as the pricing goes, it depends a lot on the number of courses that the students are taking and the specific course.
Okay, so how many, you said over 60 school districts in Kentucky have a contract with you. Would you real quick, we talked about the Globetrotter student as a student profile. I think it's fascinating, and I had no idea until I got into this work. Talk to us a little bit about those kids real quick.
So, it's very interesting because a lot of students who are traveling, so whether they're on a traveling tennis team or whether they are an equestrian in training, whatever it might be, regardless of whether they're training here in Kentucky or they're training outside of the state or they're training abroad, whatever it might be, the courses still follow them. As long as they have that internet connection, they still have access to their courses. The great thing is, even if they don't have a physical phone, we can always use Skype. We can always use Google Hangout, whatever it might be, to connect them with their teachers.
Very cool. So they're enrolled in Barron County schools, no matter where they are in the world, and they can still do the coursework. I think that is so fascinating. And I know a lot of people are excited to meet you guys in person at the session that we're doing at KISTI. So that's really exciting. All right. Thanks, Babel. Let's move on over to Miss Beth and Ben, who are representing KET. Beth, take it away.
Thank you, Heather. I'm so excited to be here today to talk about our program a little bit. And I'm going to give an overview, and then we'll get to the good stuff and let Ben, who is our lead Latin teacher, show you some of the things that we do with students in our classes. We offer solutions to schools and districts and families and especially students when it comes to staffing and scheduling. Our courses are primarily world language and arts, And we know that sometimes schools can't fit those courses in, or budget cuts have forced the reduction in those opportunities, or maybe even the removal of a program or a language. And so what we do is concentrate on giving really high quality opportunities for students to take these courses online and fill in some of the spaces that they might not be able to otherwise. We offer arts and culture, which meets the Kentucky Humanities graduation requirement. And you can see there then the foreign languages that we offer. Chinese, German, and Spanish, of course, are modern world languages, which impacts how we provide instructional delivery. And then we have probably one of the broadest series that I have seen online for high school students in Latin, to include Latin literature and AP Latin. We have, in round numbers, each semester about 500 students, but more than 50% of them are Latin students. We also offer some college courses via Morehead State University. We offer 101 and 102 in Chinese, Latin, and German, and we'll be adding Spanish in the fall. And along the line of college courses, Morehead has an agreement with us right now to do dual credit, and we'll be adding Western Kentucky in the fall of 2018. One thing that a lot of people don't know too much about is that we have virtual physics labs, and these are typically bought by a district or a school for the teacher in physics courses at their schools to use, and they're a lot of fun. You can change the variables in each of the experiments, and there are almost 23 or 24, we've got 23 listed here, that are available right now for browsers, but we also have 6 mobile apps for virtual physics labs. So they're available both ways. As far as how we enroll and how students pay for our courses, there is a small fee per course. The more students that enroll in our courses, the lower the fee goes. And we're very flexible in working with schools and districts and families to make sure that students get what they need. We have primarily middle and high school public school students, but we also have some independent school students and a few homeschool students as well, and then our college students. The hallmarks of our program, well, the first thing is that we want to meet the standards for high quality content and teaching. Some of this comes from the INACOL standards, some from the Southern Regional Education Board, but also our world language courses come from the ACTFL, which is the American Council on the Teaching of Foreign Languages. And what we know that we need to do is give kids a reason to communicate when we're talking about world languages. That's what it's all about. We try to make sure that the content that we present has very open-ended, student-specific ways of assessment. They have plenty of vocabulary so that they can relate what they're communicating to their own lives. Certainly, we are aligned to those standards, but we're also approved by NCAA so that schools that have that concern can also use our courses. One of the most important things that we do are our regular live sessions. There are weekly sessions by school that students are required to come to. When you talk about the modern world languages, you will see that every student speaks. There are lessons and practice in addition to Q&A that the kids might have. And everyone gets the opportunity to build speaking proficiency and to build listening proficiency. And again, each of the students brings their lives to these sessions, talks about the things that are important to them. And as we personalize it, we know that they learn better and build their skills more quickly. We have tutors as well as teachers. We have 5 teachers and 12 tutors. And so these people do some of the regular sessions, but also we make sure that our students know that our teachers and tutors are available at any time if they need to go over something specific. Because we are not a school per se, we don't have one calendar. So our students sign up with their own school calendars, or if they're homeschool or independent schools, with the calendars that make sense for them. And that gives us a lot of flexibility.
I was just going to ask or make mention that a lot of your tutors are from the University of Kentucky. And the day that I visited you all, it was really neat to see them. They had a headset on and they were actually having some dialogue with some students that were enrolled from Georgia. And you mentioned that a lot of world language teacher students who are aspiring to be teachers in world languages come over from UK and tutor. And so that was really neat to see. Can we take a look inside a course now? Can you introduce us to Ben?
Sure. Ben Patterson is our lead Latin teacher, and he has some fun things that he'd like to show you.
Excellent. Okay. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you, Beth and Heather. I am Ben Patterson. I am the instructor of the Latin courses. As when a student logs in and they click on their course, they one of the first things they see is any announcements from me that I've posted. I like to post announcements, at least on a weekly basis to kind of connect with them and to highlight current events or send out reminders. On the left of the screen is the menu that we have for each of our courses, broken down into units. At the very beginning of a course, there is an introduction unit with plenty of orientation materials where we go over details about the course and expectations. And before the student can proceed in the course, they do have to demonstrate understanding that they have read all of that information so that they know what is expected of them. But then they're able to proceed through the course at the pace that works for them. As Beth mentioned, we do have a course calendar tool that allows us to be very flexible with the student's schedule and the term over which they are taking their course. We can accommodate semester terms or year-long or block A/B day, trimester, you name it, we can do it. And the tool that we use to help students progress through the content at the correct pace is our course calendar. So they can whenever they log into the course, they can see exactly what lesson they should be working on that day in order to progress at the right pace to finish by the end of their term. And they can click to view the entire course calendar for the entire year. So, and we enter days that they're not going to be meeting for class, whether it's a holiday or a snow day or anything like that. So they know exactly what lesson they should be working on any given day. What it's like for a student. We do have videos, and we deliver a lot of our content through video. I wanted to show you we do have access to a lot of high quality equipment and video studios at KET that we make use of to produce the content that we deliver.
So you teach Latin to several students. What's the reason that you see a lot of students choosing Latin over some of the more traditional world language courses?
Increased literacy skills. Really, to me, learning Latin is about learning how to read English.
In a high school, as an administrator, a lot of our kids were interested in going into the medical field, and we could always offer Spanish, but we couldn't offer Latin. And Latin gives students an advantage when they start taking those medical terminology classes in college. So I love this as an option, because if you have kids on that career path, then you can go ahead and have this, even though you may not have that Latin foreign language option in your building. Now you do. So that gives them an advantage and gives you an offering for that student to be more prepared college and ultimately become more successul. So
Right,
I
we
love
have-
this as an opportunity.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Ben. Beth, so you guys offer Mandarin Chinese, German, Latin, Spanish, and I believe that you mentioned the possibility of maybe some Arabic or maybe Japanese. I don't want to like give anything away, but are there hopes for those world languages as well in the future?
There are hopes. We are looking at some course content in some of the more critical languages. We have a long road ahead of us before we decide if and when we can actually get those out to students. But certainly, we feel like we offer a very strong option in terms of teaching world languages, and this may perhaps become a reality for us soon.
Fantastic. I would have loved to have known about course offerings through KET. When you think about, as a school administrator, making course offering decisions with the principal and the counselors, you think about, okay, do we want to only offer students one world language? And it's often Spanish. We did my last year at the high school end up offering, we hired a French teacher as well. So there's two. But if we would have leveraged your program, we could have offered our students 6 world languages.
Right.
So I wish I would have known about it. I think I would have rethought the virtual offerings in an academy model that we would have had at our high school. So last question for you, Beth. Which districts are you kind of forging strong partnerships with your program?
We, interestingly enough, we have districts from all over the state, and Pineville uses us to a great extent, Floyd County, Fleming County. We have students locally. KET's main station is in Lexington, and we work with Henry Clay and Bryan Station. High schools, we have, as well as you mentioned earlier, some out-of-state schools that have found us over the years, and we provide, that, as you said, that unique schedule of world language courses that people need. My hope is that as we go forward, we can continue to be a solution for the types of districts that you mentioned that have students that want specific languages, or maybe they took German 1, but now the German program has been discontinued. We can offer them German 2. Students that just want to do other things like be in band, or maybe they have a sports schedule that prevents them from taking a specific class at a specific time of day. And we are happy to be the alternative that provides a solution for those sorts of issues.
And you made mention of pricing earlier, and I think 20 or more students enrolled, it's $50 a student. Is that still accurate? Yes,
that is correct.
Okay.
And so there are a lot of ways that can work, but we're always interested in talking to a school about what their needs are, what the student population is, and specifically what those needs are as well. And so we're I would say that we can tailor a program to fit almost any situation that a school has, if these are the classes that they want. And I also don't want to give too short shrift to our arts and culture program, which is a wonderful course. It's largely a writing course, but the social studies, the background that's presented, the art in all of the 5 major areas that need to be covered for that graduation requirement. It's an excellent course. And students like it because they are asked to relate personally to what they see and what they hear. And it's
very exciting. And also you support middle school students with the foreign languages as well. I think you made mention earlier of Boyd County Middle School. You have students enrolled in the Latin courses. So
Yes.
You support middle schools with foreign language offerings as well.
Right.
So that's,
and some of them they have maybe students in their gifted program that want to take it just like a high school student would. So they get a full credit across a year. But some still have programs where you have one semester across a year, and they take 2 years to get a full credit. And we also have students on trimester. We have students doing exploratory programs. Again, our LMS gives us a lot of flexibility to meet the needs as they are in an individual school.
Is there any type of requirement for the middle school student, or just the recommendation based upon the school and the purchase of the course?
Yeah, that would be correct. There is no specific recommendation to go into the first level. However, we do have a placement test for our second level. And part of that is because schools don't always teach the elements in the same order. Part of it is that one school's program might not go as far as we think they have gone in level one, and we don't want to put a student into a situation where we set them up to have a difficult challenge because we're pushing them too fast. So in those cases, sometimes we work with the students individually to bring them along in sort of a faster pace and then put them in the regular classroom. Sometimes we just suggest to the school that they retake level one, and ultimately then the school makes all decisions concerning transcripts and credits and that kind of thing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great questions. All right. Thank you, Beth and
Sure.
Ben and the team at KET. I always love spending time out there with you all. You're doing great work for kids. Let's move on to another fabulous team. I love coming out to JCPS eSchool. One of my favorite experiences that I've had in my new role is to see one of their graduations occur in real time. And so special work going on. So let me introduce you to Artie Dietz and his team out there at JCPS eSchool. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Hey, how are you?
Good morning. Hello. Heather, my name is Artie Dietz, and I am the assistant principal here at JCPS eSchool. Take care of the day-to-day operations of our eSchool program. And today I'm blessed to share the stage or screen with two of our rock stars. I've got Amber Merrifield right here. Come on in, Amber.
Hi.
And then I've got Amos Hall, rock star here with math. And Amos is really going to steal the show by sharing a little bit about background, what we do, how we do it, and then showcase the course.
All right. So Amos, introduce, what do you teach? What do you do? And I didn't catch what Amber does. I know Amber does a lot of the intake of students for your program.
Yes, I'm the liaison. I work with our partners all across the United States.
An asynchronous learning environment. So kind of that, people have a hard time wrapping their heads around what exactly that means. Basically, we don't operate within the constraints of a normal school calendar. So we could have a student enroll today in a course. Somebody can enroll tomorrow in the course, 2 weeks from now, Christmas Day. And they have access to work through the course at the pace that they want. Now, they do have 90 days typically to finish the course, but they have access to the course and just everything that's in it, to the teacher interactions and everything. And when they finish, then we get them in the next course. So, you mentioned our graduation. So that is one thing nice about that asynchronous environment, that once a student completes the course, if that's the last course they need, whether it's March 1st, they don't have to wait around to graduate. We put them in a cap and gown, and we send them down our hallway and give them high fives and do all the pomp and circumstance just like they would if they were on stage with their entire class. So our teachers, there's a highly qualified teacher that sits behind every course. And we communicate with the students. It's just like we operate just like any other school. We deliver the content. We build relationships with the students. That typically we've discovered that helps them buy into the course, and they will get through the course. So we don't want them to sit there and be anonymous. So we are building relationships with them. Something about our courses are that they're all built by eSchool teachers. So they do have an interest right from the ground floor in the course all the way through the fact that when they finish building it and we put it live, Today, that next bullet point, like we are continuing updating and writing new courses. We put 2 new rewritten courses up just this morning, and they already have students in them. It's a geometry course and a English course. I'm going to backtrack a little bit too. We do have our course offerings we offer all the core content or core course offerings and kind of wide variety of elective courses. So we do have enough, if a student wanted to start, we have enough course offerings to get them a high school diploma without ever stepping foot in a brick and mortar school. So that is possible to do with us also. Our students, something we've started this year and we've already had a lot of success.
Amos, before you get too deep into this, I wanted to give a good shout out to some of our awesome viewers that are here with us. We have Allison Langley, who's from Hardin County. She is with us, so we want to say hello to her, and Crystal Doolin, who's popping in and out. And we have Janelle McGuire, who is also with us. And Brian Spellman, we wanted to make sure we gave them a shout out so that we know that we appreciate them watching live. So Amos, this is some really awesome things. So keep sharing with us.
Okay. So I got to the point where we're talking about open lab. This is something new we've started this year. We've noticed a lot of uptick in demand for face-to-face interaction with teachers. Seems like we've had just this year a lot of new kind of homeschool students that have come back into the program, and just different life events that happen to kids, and they're craving more face-to-face interaction time with us. So we've started that at several of our locations, and here at Easeful, and they're staffed by teachers, Easeful teachers we rotate through. We offer that a couple times a week and at several different locations. Jumping into a course very quickly, just some things that are standard in all eSchool courses. Just this navigation menu on the side. We have this start here section that students go through. That's in every course, just preliminary information about the course and getting to know who the teacher is. So inside of courses, we want students to make sure that they know how long that they have. So this is just a test student that we have with the countdown clock. So every student knows how long they have until the time in their course runs out. And also just a real-time kind of progress meter in the course so they can know how much of it they've completed. So, and again, our teachers are the ones that are writing these courses. So we've actually had to, and we write those courses based on, the standards that the state and our local district here has set down for us. So this is actually a course that I co-authored. Something that we've had a lot of success with also is our guided notes that students, we found they get into these courses and they're kind of overwhelmed by everything that's in them. And so we took a lesson from our friends in our ECE departments around our district, and they advised us about using guided notes just as a way to kind of focus student learning. It's just over the past 3 or so years, the demographic that I feel like that we're getting, these guys can back me up, is starting to shift, kind of life events, that kind of thing. So we've had to make, I feel like, a lot stronger push to make connections with our students. And so, we have things built into the course that to do that, we're talking with them, messaging or email, phone calls, that kind of thing. We send out postcards with emojis in the mail they get. We try to cultivate too, our relationships with the teachers that are on the ground with them. A lot of times, we have our partners have actual teachers there with them, whether it's in a transition center where they have several students under them, or if it's just their counselor that they're working with. But we try to make it more of a team effort. So we don't want to just leave these kids out there hanging. We want to build a relationship with them.
Artie and Amber, could you speak a little bit to this? We've talked about the students that you guys serve. What about the districts that you partner with? I know that you even have students, I think you told me in North Dakota, who use your program as well. There's a big concentration out there in North Dakota. But as far as Kentucky, which districts have you forged partnerships with eSchool?
Our largest district is Fayette County. We have quite a few partners there, and we have a few other smaller districts in the state of Hodgenville. We have Hodgenville. And then we have lots of other states too. We have Indiana, Ohio is another big one for us.
And, it's interesting because when you go out to eSchool, and I took a tour, math teachers, their classrooms, they're all in a room together and they have multiple computer screens. And they said, this is our classroom, but there's 4 of them in one room with all these computer screens. And so they're like, this is the math department. This is the science department. And you never really think about what an online classroom looks like, but it's pretty cool. You have the whole middle school department. You all also service middle school students as well, correct?
We do. Yes. The middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th, the focus is on credit recovery. And what we do there, it's not really truly like a half credit course. What we do there with middle school is that when Johnny is struggling that first 6 weeks of schooling, we offer a module or course, however you want to call it, but that module will help Johnny that second 6 weeks catch up with the rest of the students in his class because it's 20 hours of instruction broken down into a 6-week segment of curriculum to help that family or that student catch up. And so that's exactly what we do in middle school.
On the other end of the spectrum, and then we're going to jump over to Corbin School of Innovation. Artie, you taught me about credit accumulation. You were actually the first one who ever articulated that to me. You were talking about students at Manual and Mail who wanted to accumulate credits through your program. Will you talk about that real quick for our viewers?
Perfect. If a student elects to take health with eSchool, what that does is that opens up an opportunity there at school for that student to take an elective that they really want to take there at school. So it's accumulation. It frees up time and frees up a slot in their schedule to allow them to take that virtual course at home in the evenings, on the weekend, and while they can go in and do band or whatever they want to do there at school. So they're able to accumulate and then also accommodate. So that works well. So we talk about accumulation, and then we also talk about acceleration. And to point to acceleration, again, that's a student that is dedicated over the summer that says, I'm going to leapfrog. I want to take something over the summer. I've got 2.5, 3 months. Let me work on that so that I can take an elective or even a higher level course when I get back to school in the fall. So you've got recovery, you've got accumulation, and then you've got acceleration.
Fantastic. Well, I'm a big fan of the JCPS eSchool team. Thanks so much for coming on the show. And now we're going to switch gears over to the wonderful Corbin officials. So if you guys would tell us about your program out there in Corbin. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Hi. Hey, everybody. We're just going to start by sharing our screen with you.
Yep, and make sure you introduce yourselves.
I'm sorry, I am Rachel Sima.
I'm Rachel Johnson. Wait, go back here. Just click on it.
Make sure.
Not yet, don't. You gotta hit share.
Ladies, I'm actually coming to Corbin tomorrow, so I might see you there.
Yay, great.
It's rainy.
Yeah, the rain doesn't stop.
Alrighty.
Okay, everybody seeing this okay?
Yes.
Okay. The Corbin School of Innovation, we're just going to quickly give you a very brief overview of what makes up our school and the things that we offer for our students. We are made up of 4 different programs: the Even Start program, Flex program, Kappa, and Treehouse University, and we are currently serving around 160 students. The Even Start program and the Flex program, which I'm going to talk about next, are both part of Corbin Independent Schools and are free for students in the Corbin district and the districts that we have reciprocal agreements with. The Even Start program mainly focuses on young parents, teen parents, students that need to work full time, or maybe there's students that need to take care of a family member that just need, that need just to, that don't need to be in just a traditional school setting. We try to provide them with, especially our young parents, with family literacy programs. We've been able to partner with Save the Children this year, which has been great. We service students mainly grades through 9 through 12. And let me go into the Flex program since they're so similar. It's also a part of Corbin Independent Schools too. The Flex program mainly focuses more on students that maybe have been through a recent trauma, a personal issue, maybe are dealing with some anxiety, or those children that are bullied. They are provided a seminar class that meets weekly. It's a small self-contained classroom. So there's really a great blended learning that happens in seminar. Does it? Flex, yeah. And Rachel's going to talk a little bit because she does the middle school program with our Flex program too. So it serves grades 6 through 12.
And I'm the teacher of the middle school, and it is once a week that students come in and they get some homework help. They get enrichment in math, and they also do some STEM activities, which hands-on, and I usually incorporate the STEM art or STEAM. I'm also going to talk about Kappa, which is the homeschool program, and it is similarly ran in that students can come to classes in person, and we have students throughout the state of Kentucky, even without reciprocals. So this is a tuition program, so they have to pay tuition to be in it. It is K through 12. The tuition is affordable for our students throughout the state and beyond. It is $60 a month. That is also where we do STEM art or STEAM activities. The students come once a week, and this is also offered all the way from K through 12. We do tend to group the kids. So we have an elementary classroom, a middle school classroom, and a high school classroom.
So the first two programs, you guys will take reciprocal agreements from other districts. With this program, it's $60 a month. It's fee-based. And with the first two programs, kids are still in the accountability system. But with this program, they are not.
Yes, correct.
The total homeschool program. So with Flex, and what was the first one?
Even Start.
Even Start. With Flex and Even Start, which districts have you, do you have partnerships, reciprocal agreements with?
Whitley County, Williamsburg, mainly the schools that are located in Whitley County.
Okay, in Whitley County. Okay, so you have students there who benefit from Flex and Even Start as well. Stay-at-home parents or parents, or I'm sorry, students who have children, students who have parents at home who are sick, students who need to work. So you are offering your services to other neighboring districts as well.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Very good.
We just really try with those students, young parents, or actually all of our students. It's a very individualized education program for each student. So we really just try to give them whatever flexible schedule that those students need to make them successful is what we want to try to do.
Excellent. Cortney De Rossi, did you have any other questions? You had asked me earlier about accountability.
Yeah, that was, you answered it, that the reason some of them are accountable and then some of them wouldn't be. So yeah, that answered that question. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so students in Kappa they actually withdraw out of whatever district that they are at to homeschool. Okay. And it is an accredited program so that they do get an accredited high school diploma, or they're getting accredited content.
Okay.
The next one I'm going to talk about is one that isn't digital. It's just a new program that we've had. And so I wanted to keep that in there. It is Treehouse University. It is small, individualized. We do social emotional learning with the students, mindfulness, and it goes from 5th to 8th grade. That is still part of our School of Innovation. So that's kind of why that's included there. And these are the things that we offer to our students in the School of Innovation. We have classes, in-person classes, which we call seminar, breakfast and lunch for those that are still part of our district, open lab 5 days a week, tutoring. We partner with with the area Technology Center, as well as provide opportunities for dual credit, ACT prep, FAFSA, the STEM art, mental health counseling, field trips, prom, so much that for these students. And we have 5 certified teachers. Here's a couple pictures of us teaching and our trips, our prom. So these students, even though they're based mostly digitally, they still get to participate in activities that they normally would have not been able to.
Rachel, did you just say that online virtual students get to go to prom and on trips? Could you just reiterate that for us?
Yeah, so we have 3 or more college field trips a year, and those are throughout the state of Kentucky. So we might go to UK, Berea, local community colleges. We took them to Mammoth Cave this year, and we have prom. So this is open to all of our students, no matter what program they are in. So they could be an Even Start and have a baby. They may be live in Northern Kentucky and be a part of Kappa. They are still invited to all of these activities. We do senior trip for all of our seniors, and it is free. So we want to make sure all this is affordable to our students. We don't charge them if there's any way that we can pay for it. So if we can write a grant or partner with another community agency to help us pay for some of these opportunities. We keep our prom tickets $10. We really try to make this an opportunity that our students can do, even though they might be far away. Because I had a student all the way as far as Martin County that comes to our field trips. So,
well, I don't know the rest of
my side. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Courtney. Go ahead.
So on average, how many times a month do they have the opportunity to see each other and interact face to face?
Weekly.
Every week that there's seminar, they can interact. They can come here, and if they're far away, if they just want to do a field trip, I mean, we average about one every month, kind of. Maybe not every month, obviously, but pretty close.
Yeah, we try to keep it once a month to take them to, either a college field trip or to go do something fun and get together.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies, the rest of the panel, I hope that you can feel their compassion and their passion for working with these students. Anytime I ever see the Rachels present, I always just feel so grateful and thankful that there are people out there taking good care of these kids like they do. So would you ladies take us into one of your courses?
Mm-hmm. I just want to show you this really quickly for those. Yeah, this is our website for anybody because I know we went over everything really, really briefly. If anyone's interested, this is our website. It's www.corbinninnovate.org. So here, of course, we've got some pictures. Our Facebook, there's our calendar. Our Facebook feed is not usually on there, but we're on the school's internet, so it's not showing up right there on the front page. But of course, you can go to About Us, our mission, and the different programs here. So if you guys want more information on the individual programs, please visit our website. The contact us here if you need to talk to us individually or get in touch with us. Please visit our website and let us know.
All right, now I'm going to show you what a course looks like for a student. This is the learning management system that we use currently, and that is Schoology. And this is a place where we can actually build our classes and make it more interactive for our students, because we do use Odyssey-ware. And so when we use other enrichment programs as well, so we do like to have some electives for our students that are more interactive. So I'm just going to take you into week 1. This is all built by a teacher. There's an assignment. There are videos. So I'm going to go into numbers. This would be any class that a student could use, and they're all similarly made up. So there might be a video that they watch, and then there is some pictures, and they have to go through each bit of the content and try not to go back and forth to make you all dizzy. And then if they need to upload an assignment, so they can do this well, I'll do it because I'm not a student. But once you you can upload an assignment, and the student can actually see. They can do a video upload. So if they're learning to spell their name in the American Sign Language, they can do a video of them signing their name. So it's very interactive that we get to see our students. We get to see that they are the ones who are doing the learning the content, and it's a really good class for them to take that they get to see, get to work on, and something as interactive as ASL would be.
Thank you, ladies, so much. Okay, so we have a few questions now, and I just wanted to point out, so you all use the Schoology learning management system. I believe at KET, Beth and Ben, you guys are using the Moodle learning management system. JCPS Easeful, you guys are using Blackboard learning management system. And then Babel, I forget the name that Florida Virtual School uses. Which one?
We use Buzz.
Buzz. I was going to say Bumblebee, but it's Buzz. So 4 different learning management systems, all powered by Kentucky teachers. And I think that's an important point to drive home. Any other questions for the panel before we end with my teammate Ben Maynard? Any questions at this point? Elaine, go ahead.
Yes, I have one. So coming from a special ed background, I wanted to know, how do you handle students with IEPs? How do you I saw some differentiation, but do you modify assignments for them? How does each one of you handle students that come with an IEP?
To work with our special ed teachers at the high school and partner with them to help us if we had a student that had those needs.
Yeah, we work with them to modify what's needed.
We do have students with 504 plans and IEPs. We work with our director of special programs when those students express interest in enrolling in our program, and she helps in that process as far as that enrollment and looking at those IEPs and accommodations, modifications that need to be made.
Amos, out there at eSchool, I remember we had this conversation when I visited. Would you speak to this a little bit?
It kind of depends really on what the student situation is. When we have a large group of eSchool only kids, a lot of times they waive their rights there. But kids that are not just eSchool only kids, obviously they keep those IEP rights, and we rely on the direction of partner teachers.
Artie told me, who is the vice principal out there at eSchool, he said that offering extended time is very easy.
Oh, yes.
There's some very simple accommodations that can be made in an online virtual setting. And then there's some that just can't be made. And online virtual may not be a good fit for all kids. And I think Babel really spoke to that earlier, that different students are going to benefit from different types of learning environments and experiences. So great question. Any other questions before we let Ben teach us how to learn more? Anyone else? All right, Ben Maynard, this is my teammate. I'm excited to officially introduce him as a member of the Coven, Kentucky Online Virtual Network. And he has worked to build a space on the KDE webpage for parents and districts and schools to get more information and support. So Ben, what do you have for us today? Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. It's been really, truly a learning experience. And honestly, Heather, you put it very well when you talk about humanizing this work. It's more than just online courses. It's about each individual student. So I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. Appreciate all the work that you're doing. And so I get to work on the fringe a little bit to help, part of KY Go Digital, Kentucky Go Digital's mission is to connect. So, in order to be able to find all of this information, whether you're a parent, a student, high school counselor, administrator, teacher, whatever, you need a great place to be able to come and find all this information. KDE's website, type virtual courses, here's the second link. So either way, and then honestly, if I was a high school counselor, I would just bookmark it. And so this is what pops up. Of course, you can see just the relevant contact information for each provider. And then as you scroll down, we've been able to put all of the information into a table that you can search by provider, you can search by subject area, and then if you're just looking for a particular course, biology. You can click on biology. The 3 course providers that offer that will pop up. If you just want to search by course, you can do that. Or if you want to just flip through 20 at a time, all 280 courses that you guys offer, there are there. So the great thing about this is now, if you are someone coming to look for information here, this is live and updated routinely. So if someone from Corbin School of Innovation goes in and inserts a new course, they have a new offering, it will be live here just almost immediately. So everything here is live and ready to go. If you want to share this information, you can run a filter, and then you can also grab a URL from just that filter. If you want to shoot that to somebody, you can print out an entire course list, or if you want to pull it down to your own machine, you can download all of these courses as a CSV file. So
Ben, you are the man. Thank you so much. You put the man in Maynard. Wait, did I say that right? Yep, I think I did. And also at the bottom of the KDE page, you'll see my contact information as well. So very cool stuff. Panel, Kentucky Online Virtual Learning Network. Thank you so much for being here. You will get to meet all of these remarkable educators in person at a session that they are working together to provide at KISTI. So look for the Coven Kentucky Online Virtual Network session at KISTI. Speaking of KISTI, Courtney, why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
KISTI is next week, so I hope everyone that's watching will be there. It's awesome. Like I said, I've always said before, it's not a technology conference. It is a teaching and learning in 2018 conference. And I'm so glad that this panel will be there along with tons of other people. It's next week starting on Wednesday. So the 7th, 8th, 9th, be in Louisville, be at the Galt House, and we can all meet each other and talk more about the virtual learning opportunities we have in Kentucky.
Yay! So meet all these people in person. Elaine, this is a crazy day. We're kicking off March strong on Kentucky Go Digital Live. And in less than an hour, tell us about what's happening.
We are going to be talking with Faith Stroud, who is a principal who is recently in middle school principal, who's recently gone one-to-one on Chromebooks. And so we are wanting to peep into her world and see what she has learned and where she's stumbled and where she's made successes as well. So we are going to end up seeing how she has done, and that is starting here in less than an hour. So make sure you come back and join us.
So thanks once again to the Kentucky Online Virtual Network. We are so honored that you guys could join us today and give us a sneak peek inside your world for our students here in Kentucky. So thanks so much for the work that you're doing for kids across the state. This show will be available on demand beginning tomorrow sometime. So until next time, thanks to all of our special guests. As always, create, connect, and share with us on the Kentucky Go Digital hashtag. See you next time.
Get involved with Kentucky Go Digital. Attend regional events, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or follow us on Twitter.